Hey guys, how you doing? Chris Acheson here, team leader at the Southwest Florida RE Group, powered by MVP Realty. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about new construction and the phenomenon of new construction in Southwest Florida. New construction is huge business down here and accounts for probably anywhere from 40 to 60% of my sales year over year. The reasons why I'm going to get into, right? So a lot of people have never bought new construction from the northern states and the Midwest. And it's kind of a new territory for them, right? They bought resales all their life. Why? Because most of the land was developed, in the 60s and 70s in suburbia USA, and there just really isn't a lot of new construction opportunity up there because there's not a lot of land unless you go way out into the rural areas of the United States, and you probably are going to build a custom home if you do that. You're not going to go with a big production style builder. Okay, so I'm just going to get into some of the reasons why, depending on the client, I encourage people to buy new construction and why people typically do that. The one downside I will say of new construction is that it is usually a little bit further from the beach because that is where the land is available, and that's where people can get what they want. I'm just going to go ahead and share my PowerPoint here. All right, so I'm just going to open this up. So why buy new construction? Okay, just going to go into that quickly here. So there's 5 main reasons why, a little typo here, why you would buy new construction, right? The first is pricing and savings. Yes, that's right. There are significant savings with buying a new construction home, and pricing down here we'll get into. Floor plan and finishes, second option or second reason. Third reason, HOA fees and special assessment probability. Fourth reason is neighbors and social life. And the fifth reason is appreciation potential. So I'm just going to dive into these a little bit more. And so the first reason why pricing is a reason to buy new construction down here, which sounds kind of like an oxymoron, is there are a ton of big builders down here from across the country building. Why? Because there's high demand to live in Florida right now, right? A lot of people are moving down here to find new primary homes instead of secondary homes. Historically, Florida was a vacation type of state. Now it's becoming much more of a primary type of state, especially with the income tax savings. So what that means is, especially on this coast, there's a lot of land still, so a lot of builders are coming in, and they are building new construction communities. I think there's maybe 30 to 40, maybe even 50 new construction communities from North Fort Myers, Northwest Cape Coral, all the way down to Southeast Naples. Okay, that's a lot, including Ave Maria, right? So long story short, when the builders compete for business, and there's a lot of business down here, it will drive down prices. Builder competition is good for you, the consumer, right? Up north, builders have a lot less competition, right? Typically, you'll have some subdevelopment that's just Pulte, and there's no other new construction communities within 30 to 40 miles of them, right? Down here, there's new construction at every other stoplight, right? It's typically a little bit further east, a little bit further from the shore again, but there's reasons why it works out well. So pricing, they're very aggressively priced because the builders all compete with one another, and they are not significantly more expensive than resale properties like they are in the Northwest or the Northeast and the Midwest. So how exactly does it save you money though, right? How can buying a new house that's say 5 to 10% more expensive save me money, buyer from New Jersey or Illinois? Well, for starters, everything's new, right? So let's just talk about a new roof. New roof, 2,000 square foot tile roof, either barrel tile or flat tile, could easily cost you between $30,000 and even $50,000 if supply is short to replace. That's extremely expensive, right? And the old tile roofs might only last 20, 30 years, depending on where they are, how many storms they've weathered, and how well they were put together in the first place, how well they were built. So new roof, new appliances, air conditioners are big business down here in Florida. They can run, typically they run somewhere between 12, 16 years, but they can cost you a good chunk of money to replace. And some of our houses down here need 2 air conditioners, and each one can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 to replace, right? So you could buy a resale house, and the next day the air conditioner could go out, and you could owe $6,000 and have to replace that, right? Not to mention the risk of mold when an air conditioner goes out, but we won't get into that. And then on top of that, new water heater, dryer, washer, dishwasher, microwave, right? So all of these newer appliances are a little bit more energy efficient. It's going to save you a little bit on your electrical bill, less water is being used, and they're less likely to need to be replaced. Then let's get into insurance. This is a big one. So insurance, if you buy a new house, it's going to be built, with 2020 building codes. It'll have 3 nails in the hurricane straps, binding the rebar to the truss strap, right? So there's lots of things, hurricane glass, for example. There's lots of things that inspectors and people that do wind mitigation reports for insurance companies are looking for. And when you submit, the fact that you have hurricane glass and you've got a certain degree of hurricane proofing to the roof and the trusses and everything, and you've got your concrete block filled with poured cement and all these things, right? Your premiums are going to go significantly down. If you buy a house from the 1980, let's say, versus a house from 2020, you could save over $100 a month, easy, right? Not to mention houses in 2020 and newer houses in general are built at a higher elevation, so you have less risk of being put into a flood zone, right? So other than that, yeah, piping, electrical, windows, right? You have better quality, less likely for issues, less likely to have leaks. Hurricane glass and insulation. Hurricane glass is very, very insulative. It's going to save you hundreds of dollars on your electric bill every year. That's one of the best things about it. People don't really talk about that though, but it'll save you money, on your insurance as well. So those are some of the main reasons. For reason number 1, it'll save you it'll save you money, and the pricing is not that competitive. Number 2, you get to pick out what you want, right? You get to pick out your model. You get to pick out your open floor plan concept, right? This is the Somerville 2 by Lennar, one of the most popular floor plans that's out there. I've sold lots of these. So this person elected to have diagonal tile, for their finishes. Not as popular these days. That brown Mediterranean is not quite as popular either. This type of island is popular, but it doesn't have, quartz. A lot of people prefer quartz there. So there's just things, you can pick out exactly what you want. You can put your money all into the kitchen. You could put all your money into the master bed and the master bath. You could have engineered wood throughout if you're really, really big on that. You could just buy a really, really high-end base priced house and just have that square footage. And then maybe you want to do all your finishes later. Not likely, but this is the place where you can lump all of your renovations into your initial mortgage, right? So you're not having to drop $50,000 to $100,000 later to, put in a pool or put in shiplap in the master bedroom, or whatever it may be. So you can design exactly what you want, and you can select your lot too. That's really important. You want southwest exposure, and you want to be on the preserve only. You don't want to be on the water. There's a lot of pluses that come with new construction. You have more options, right? Resale, it's just whatever's for sale at that time. So trying to time up a second home purchase can be tough with resales. So reason number 3, HOA fees are typically much lower in new construction communities. Why? There's more capital invested up front already by the builder. Landscaping isn't as mature, so it's not quite as costly. There's fewer repairs that need to be made. The lake systems, the water pumps, the fountains, the pavers around the fountain in the center when you drive in. All of these things don't need to be, addressed yet. They're brand new, so they've already been tested out. They've been put in. They have the newest and latest equipment that's being used, and so you don't have as many expenses because you don't need as many repairs and as much maintenance, right? And then the second thing is, on top of the fees, is you have a lower probability of having a special assessment. Why? Because the community is new. It has a brand new clubhouse, right? One of the biggest reasons for a special assessment is if there is a clubhouse that's just out of date and isn't really up to par per se. with all the homeowners. Usually the homeowners vote, and if it's a majority vote, they'll decide to levy a special assessment to everybody and just say, hey, you know, our clubhouse is 35 years old. We have a lot more people in the neighborhood that use it more, and we need a different type of layout, and we need to, you know, stay competitive with other communities around us. So we need a nice clubhouse. So everyone buck up another $10,000 this year, right? So that's a special assessment. When everything's new, that's not going to happen, not for at least 15 years, right? So reason number 4 is the neighbors, right? So if you're buying in a new construction community that, let's say, has a great pickleball tennis program, and let's say it has biking trails throughout, and those are things that you're interested in, guess what kind of people you're going to meet? People that have those same interests, right? They're probably in a similar life phase, and they want to move there, and they don't know anyone. You know, they're from Ohio, and they maybe have 1 or 2 friends that moved to Bonita Springs and Estero, and you know, but they want to meet people in the neighborhood. They're going to be more social. They're social directors in these new communities, right? All they want to do is get people to socialize and have fun and enjoy, you know, enjoy themselves essentially, right? So you're going to find a lot of great people in a similar, I'll just say life phase. I should stay away from the word age. But yeah, I mean, it's you pick out the community you want, and each one has something different to offer. So that's the beautiful part. So the 5th reason to buy is appreciation potential. The builder in a new construction community is in charge of the pricing. And what do? They price fix, right? And what does price fixing mean? It means they control the pricing in the neighborhood. They set the pricing. So what are they going to do? They're going to do price increases. So this means that if you buy in early in a community like I did, you're likely to have what they call instant equity phases throughout the construction of the community, throughout the phases of the community. Why? Because the builder is going to say, hey, Chris, you bought this Ashbury model for $420,000. You know, 2 months later, looking at all the analytics happen, and the builder gets all the reports in and assesses the market and sees that demand is up and costs are down, and they can afford another price increase because they're going to get the money anyway, because people are going to buy anyway. What are they going to do? They're going to increase the price of that home. Say now it costs $440,000. So all of a sudden, my house is worth $20,000 more. And guess what? That goes right into my pocket when I go to resell, right? So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing about buying in a new construction community, is you get a lot of nice appreciation. Not to mention that, you know, new homes are easier to resell, right? So if you only lived there 3 years, you're going to be able to resell that home a lot easier than somebody that's trying to sell a house that was built in, you know, 2001 or 1991. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call me, text me. My number is 609-634-4419, or shoot me an email at christopher.acheson, Acheson, @gmail.com. And it was good to see all you guys today. Stay tuned for another video soon, and I hope you all have a great night and a great week. Take care.